Hello. Welcome to another Chinese food adventure. You will not believe where I am. Check this out. I'm in the desert! So you may be wondering, where exactly am I? Well, I'm in Dunhuang. It's a city in the far north of Gansu province, and it's a city situated right smack bang next to the sandy dunes of the Gobi Desert, which makes for one seriously dramatic backdrop. And today is just one of those bucket list days. I am so excited to be here. I'm here in Dunhuang, and this has been at the top of my China bucket list for years and years and years now. And I mean, for a reason, check out this amazing scenery. I'm absolutely blown away. This is my first time ever visiting like a sandy desert, my first time seeing sand dunes, and they are blowing my mind. I mean, what a wonder. How is that so tall and so perfect and like, it feels like I'm in a painting right now, honestly. It was historically an important stopping point on the Silk Road for travelers traveling between China and the West. As a result, Dunhuang became an important trade center and also a meeting place of culture and religions. These days, Dunhuang is an absolute tourist mecca. I mean, you can just see how many tourists there are around me here. And I am just approaching now a camel crossing. What is happening here? So just in front here, over that ridge there, apparently there's this desert oasis, and I've never seen a desert oasis before, so I'm feeling pretty excited. I've also heard that as the sun goes down, there are so many activities here, performances here. I'm about to climb this massive, oh my god, that is a long way up. Anyway, before we get to all that, I want to show you how this amazing day started, so I'll see you in a few hours. Good morning. I am so tired. It is like 6:26. I have been up since like 4 a.m. but I'm here at Lanzhou airport and I'm about to get onto my flight to Dunhuang. And even though we're just going in the same province, I'm still choosing to catch a flight because the alternative is a 10+ hour train. Look at all these trains. They're also all overnight trains and all over 12 hours. No thank you. So as I may have mentioned, Gansu is a really long and thin province, so to get from the south to the north can take quite some time. So even my flight today is going to be an hour and a half apparently. Anyway, I'm very excited. I have never seen like sandy dunes before. I've also been slightly obsessed with the movie Dune recently, so I'm excited to feel like I'm Zendaya. This is the video I took with my phone when coming into land at Dunhuang airport, and check this out. You can see the city there and look how close it is to those massive sand dunes right behind it. Oh my goodness, I am beyond excited for this trip, guys. You have no idea. But of course, first things first, let's get some breakfast. 想问一下，当地人一般吃什么早餐呢？
就是合汁。
合汁是什么？
合汁是也是汤、肉丸子之类的。有一个店特别好，下家合汁。
So after freshening up at the hotel, that was my first stop of the day, and from the look of it, it was everyone else's first stop too. Oh my goodness, it is really busy. So I've been studying the menu, and it seems in its most basic form, you can get this yangrou tang, and they have this set here where you can get it with the bread. But what the taxi driver was kind of talking about is this one here, the yangrou hezhi, which seems just like the yangrou tang with extra stuff inside, like some meatballs, some tofu, some mushrooms. 你好，来一个羊肉合制。大碗还是小碗？小碗，再加一个饼。They also have a bar full of fresh side dishes you can choose from that looked really nice and colorful, so I decided to go for one of those too. So I've just arrived on the second floor. There's no room on the first floor. This place is absolutely packed. And here is my yangrou hezhi here. It's absolutely packed full of stuff. The first thing that's standing out to me are these little meatballs that are really tender. They're like meaty but also breadcrumby in some way, and they fall apart in my mouth really easily. I saw the guy next to me ripping up his bread and soaking it in his soup, so I decided to do the same, and once it was completely soaked with soup, I fished it out alongside a piece of mutton and added some chili, which was a lovely little combo. And look, I'm no nutritionist, but I feel like this is definitely ticking all the boxes. You know, you've got your protein in there from the meat and from the tofu, you've got your carbs from that bread and from those noodles, and I did have a piece of meat just now that had a little bit of fat in it, so also fats. All the macros are checked off. That soup is so good. It's really full of flavor and it's very muttony. You can definitely taste that meat in there. Very nice breakfast. I also like it. It is a smaller size. I don't like feeling too weighed down by my breakfast, so that's definitely a plus for me. Oh, and I've almost forgotten my beautiful side dish here. It looks really delicious. I'm hoping it'll be a little bit acidic. Oh, it's really good. It's slightly acidic and it also has sesame oil as well. So it's just a really simple mix and very refreshing. Actually, I want to make a sandwich. So I started off by opening up what's left of my bread. Then I added some chili. I then heaped on some of that cabbage salad. And last but not least, I fished through my bowl for any pieces of meat I may have missed and added those too. I mean, check this out. This looks absolutely epic. Important last step. I'm gonna dip it slightly into the soup and then try. Oh my. Now that is breakfast. I am very impressed by myself right now because this is like the perfect combination of ingredients because you've got that lamb in there that's quite strong in taste. So I've put a few pieces in this bread, just enough to like kind of not make it too overwhelming. That bread, I've opened it up so it's not too thick, it's not too thin. It's really the perfect sandwich thickness really, and the chili gives it a little bit of warmth, but what really brings it together is this salad, which gives it that freshness and that zing as well. It's just hit me why I'm liking this so much. I've unconsciously made northwestern China's version of the doner that, you know, I would have a lot in Germany. And in Germany you have it with that, you know, that flat bread that looks quite similar to this actually. And then inside you have that very flavorful meat. And for me, what I love about the doner in Germany is you can put Krautsalat inside, which is like this crispy cabbage salad, and that's pretty much what we've got going on here. I'm coming back tomorrow and having this exact thing. No, seriously, if you come to Dunhuang, go to that restaurant and do exactly what I just did. Mind-blowing, amazing. I will be dreaming of that breakfast. If I lived here in Dunhuang, I would go there every day for breakfast. Okay, now it's time to start officially exploring this desert city. It's so weird because I know just how isolated this city is, and I saw how close we are to the desert from the flight when we landed. But walking around this city, I mean, you wouldn't know you're in the middle of a desert. It just looks kind of like every other small Chinese city, except for one major key difference, which is the buildings. They're very beige, like beigey brown, which I guess is a very practical decision because I guess living so close to the desert, probably a lot of sand flying around all over the place, so make them beige so they'll stay beige in the long term. After about an hour of wandering around Dunhuang, I kind of forgot I was right next to a desert until I turned a corner and saw this. Oh, my first glimpse of the sand dunes, look. So I've just stumbled across this river that runs through Dunhuang, and from here you can get a really amazing view of those sand dunes behind there, and they're so tall and really dramatic, and the dunes are actually so close to the city it makes me think that it would just take like a breath of wind to send this whole city into a sandstorm. And yeah, looks like I may have just jinxed myself on that one there, but more on that later. Anyway, before the heat of the day got too overwhelming, I decided to visit Mogao, the Mogao Caves. It's probably the thing Dunhuang is most famous for, and it sees up to 6,000 tourists a day. Oh my god, this place is absolutely phenomenal. It's like this ancient art museum in the middle of the desert, and it's built directly into the cliff face, and it was hidden for many, many years. It was sealed off in the 11th century, and it was only discovered a couple of hundred years ago. And basically inside you'll find artistic works spanning over a time frame of over 1,000 years. And the coolest thing about this is you can really see the artistic style change through the dynasty and as time passes. It's an absolutely phenomenal collection of artwork. And another cool thing about it is many of these paintings detail scenes from everyday life. So these caves provide so much insight into what life was like 1,000 years ago. So as you can imagine, it's a very important place. And as a result, it sees a huge amount of tourists flock here every single day. And they also have a policy that inside the caves you're not allowed to take photo or video. I guess this is maybe for conservation reasons, but also it does keep that line flowing a lot faster. I mean, if everyone's stopping to take their photo, this line is going to be a lot slower than it already looks like. As you can see, there are a lot of people visiting here. I wish I could have shown you guys in there. There's this massive Buddha statue that goes all the way to the ceiling, and you're standing at the bottom of it looking up, and it's just like incredible. And just to give you an idea of how big this structure is, it starts right here on the bottom and it goes all the way to the top of this structure. And when you walk in, you can see its toes, and they're pretty much as tall as you. Wow, so that's just cave number 1. Now I guess we just kind of make our way through and enjoy some ancient art. In total, there are 735 caves, although most of them are closed to the public. I believe only 40 to 50 of them are open at any one time, but there is a museum right next door where you can see replicas and get nice up close and personal with some of the artworks that are closed to the public.
中午饭会吃什么？
中午饭拉面、拉饺子。
辣条子。
哎，我们敦煌用盐水和的面，
哦，
拉出来比那个牛肉拉面那个面粗一点，但吃起来劲道。
So I have found myself a restaurant here. It's called Dunhuang Pasta Restaurant. Sounds promising. Let's go get ourselves some lajiaozi. And this menu is more than a little bit intimidating. There are so many options on this menu. You've got stuff with rice, you've got a lot of noodle options, a lot of lajiaozi options. The first thing on the menu is this Liu Huang and I was originally planning to get that when I came here to Dunhuang. The reason being is when I was doing research about what to eat here in Dunhuang, the first dish to come up is always these yellow noodles with donkey meat. But I've asked both of my taxi drivers and they said that locals don't really eat this dish because it's very expensive to get that donkey meat.
这个辣条子主要就是本地人吃特别多。
我们当地人每天至少要吃上一顿那个辣条的那个拌面
Okay.
才觉得心里边舒服啊，不然的话感觉空落落的难受的很，吃米饭就是不舒服啊。
So I'm gonna eat like the locals too. My bowl of noodles that I have ordered is 13 renminbi. I actually got vegetarian because I was recommended that's #1 on their menu. Oh wow! I'm understanding better why this is called la tiaozi. So la means pull, and these are very much pulled noodles. It's also very, very long. It's probably the longest noodle I've ever eaten. So the dough is pre-prepared in this coil shape. Then she takes and pulls the coil to make this one long noodle, and then she pulls it out even more to make it even longer, and then it's boiled. Here we are. My la tiaozi have arrived. They smell super fragrant. It's a big bowl of noodles, and oh my gosh, these noodles are so long. I could not believe it when she was pulling it in. I wonder if it breaks up in the course of cooking. Oh yeah, it does. It's not that long. See if we can find a longer one. No. It seems in the course of cooking or being, you know, boiled and being stir-fried, they kind of lose the length, but it was originally very, very long. Yeah, I think the real draw card about these noodles is that texture. Like they're hand pulled, they're also of a certain size, but they're just so like, I find it really hard to find the right word in English, but there's the perfect word in Chinese, which is jindao. And it kind of translates to springy, but not juicy, but it's a very specific word. I wish it was easier to explain in English, but you know, your teeth bite down on that noodle. There's a slight springiness, but it's also soft and kind of juicy. It's really, really good. It's quite garlicky in flavor. I was also told by my taxi driver that I can customize it to my taste and add a little bit of vinegar, which I'm gonna do. Obviously gonna add some chili in there as well. It's cheap, it's tasty, easy and homey flavors. Yep, that noodle definitely fills the hole. I found myself not really knowing what I wanted to do for the next few hours, and I heard that when you buy your tickets for the Crescent Moon Lake in the desert, it's valid for 3 days. So I thought I would make a quick trip, and I have never been so humbled by a scenery. Like, these dunes are absolutely massive. It is so beautiful. I am in awe of this scenery right now. It's also the first time I'm seeing a scenery like this, so I guess of course it's going to be more interesting to me because it's just so different, but it is just so beautiful. There is also a lot of people here. Also a lot of fluoro foot coverings. I've learnt the reason for this fluoro fashion statement is the desert sand can get really, really hot. Also, the sand can stain white shoes, so people wear these foot covers for protection. You might be able to see all the tourists, they're kind of heading in this direction towards the exit, and that's because it's approaching that really, really hot time of the day, and it's not the best to be out here in the middle of the desert in 35-degree heat with that blazing sun overhead. So I am also gonna head towards the exit. I'll come here a bit later. I thought something that I would like to do, I've kind of been on the edge of whether I want to do it or not, is eat some camel. I heard it's a local specialty here, but of the people that I've been talking to, like taxi drivers and locals here, they don't seem to really eat it.
谁舍得杀一个骆驼呀？那一个骆驼一年要赚多少钱啊？吃骆驼肉的比较少见，骆驼比较常见。鸣沙山的骆驼多了，但是吃骆驼就等着它老的。你想一个骆驼这个东西啊，寿命比驴子比马的寿命都要长。
多长你知道吗？
骆驼一个正常的一个骆驼这能活30年。
30年，哇！
所以说你这吃骆驼的机会几乎就很渺茫。
So it's not really in anyone's interest to be breeding these camels for food, they're for tourism. So the only camel meat that you'll really find in this city is from like old camels that have died naturally. So I've just arrived at a restaurant that does have camel on the menu. This here is actually camel hoof, and apparently it's quite a delicacy here. but I don't know, I don't think I actually feel like eating it. And I think a lot of my hesitation is coming from the fact that I just feel really sorry for these camels. I mean, they live such long and hard lives. They're working over 20 years of their lives, up to 10, 12, 14 hours a day, carrying tourists on their back. And then at the end of the day, when they do eventually die, they get eaten by the people who have ridden them, you know, ridden them tired all day long. And yeah, I just don't feel like eating it. Okay, so it's approaching 7 p.m. and I'm heading back to the sand dunes. It's still crazy hot and bright out though, so I decided to kill some time by eating. While I was eating my shellcow, I started to notice how desert ready these people were and also protected against the sun, which I most definitely was not. I'm suddenly very conscious I'm wearing short shorts and about to go into the desert, so I'm tempted to get me some sun protection here because the sun is still high in the sky.
东皇飞天莫高窟壁画里头的
Oh, okay.
飞天，这是飞天啊，看。
So I've caved and bought two things. One is this. I thought if it gets too sunny, I can put it around my legs or around my neck, or I just have no idea what I'm about to get myself into there. Even though it is approaching 7 p.m, you'd think it would start getting dark by now. But here in Dunhuang, the sunset is actually 9:30, so we still have quite a bit of time to go, even though it's 7 p.m. now. Also, obviously, I have bought myself some of these foot coverings. Everyone else has them. I feel like it's something I should have. Let's see how useful they actually end up being. I think we're ready for the desert, guys. So we are back. We are ready to go, and I've just noticed that over here they actually have a KFC. It's got to be one of the weirder locations I've seen KFC. Wow, it's a real look. These are orange leg thingies. But I think I am sufficiently protected both against the sand and the sun, and I'm about to step my first step into the desert. Yeah! So our destination, what we're walking towards now, is the Crescent Moon Lake. One option of getting there is you can get on a camel, but I feel sorry for the poor buggers, so I'm not going to take one. I'm going to use my own 2 feet. And wow, that sun is biting. It is very, very hot still, going on 7:30 p.m. and honestly it feels like it could be 3 p.m. How cool is this? Oh my gosh, it's so beautiful. So beautiful, I wanted to take a page out of these ladies' book here and try to get some cute shots of me posing with the sand dunes, but unfortunately the universe had other plans. Oh no! My camera dropped in the desert and the sand is caught in my lens, and I'm pretty sure my camera it's gone for. It's not opening, it's not turning on. No! My camera. So we're gonna be filming the rest of this on my iPhone. Oh no, my camera! I mean, if this camera was gonna go out, at least it's going out in style in this beautiful, beautiful place. This camera has been with me since 2020, so it's been 4.5 years I've had this camera. It's been a really great travel buddy. I hope I can repair it, I don't know. Anyway, I'm trying not to let it get to me. I do also have my Insta360 in here. So let's just film the rest of this video with my iPhone and my Insta360. Everything happens for a reason. I'm sure this footage is gonna look amazing. Today is gonna go great. I'm about to climb this massive sand dune. But of course, first, before we get to the sand dune, we're gonna see the oasis. So here we are, this is the oasis, the Crescent Moon Lake. And it just blows my mind that this is naturally occurring and it has been here for hundreds and hundreds, if not thousands of years. And I mean, you see all these sand dunes, they're towering above us here, and to have this lake here, I just don't understand how it's possible. Research shows that this desert oasis is possible due to a natural depression that's created by strong winds, which basically blow the sand away from the spring. This phenomenon allows the spring and the sands, incredibly, to coexist. From this angle, you can't really get a best idea of its scale or its shape, and of course, the best view of this Crescent Moon Lake is up there. So that's the next item on my to-do list. Our mission is to get to the top of that dune right there. We have 2 main options. I've already chosen the option I'm going for. I think you can tell what option I have taken. Well, the first option, which I didn't opt for, is that ladder. There's a line and it's moving so slowly, I don't think you'd even get to the top in an hour, and I know this is gonna drive me mad, so I've opted for potentially the crazier option, which is just doing my best to get to the top of this dune, but holy moly, it's like 1 step forward, 3 steps back. I seriously underestimated how hard this would be. Sand dunes are no joke. I mean, I'm no marathon runner, but I'm also not completely unfit, but I couldn't do more than a minute of climbing at a time before I needed to take a rest. 太过分了，这个沙子。Basically, everyone was just doing the best they could to get up this thing, and I saw some very creative ways that people were going about it. Also, snaps to this lady here who chose to climb a sand dune with cake. I mean, this really impressed me.
需要吗？来一个。
这是米水冰城吗？
对。来一个。
多少钱
20。
20。好，你每天都爬山买这个吗？
对对对，
多费劲啊！
就是费劲。
那你
锻炼，挺锻炼人的。
挺会做生意的。太棒了。I mean, she must be one fit lady. She is climbing this every single day to sell some 米水冰城. And she is making a nice little profit off it. It's basically double the price that it would be at the bottom. But right now, I'd pay anything for this. Oh my god. I'm almost at the top, guys. I have to say, in my personal experience, whether you take that ladder or you do it yourself, it's going to take the same amount of time either way. So may as well just take the ladder. I made it to the top. I have my 米水冰城 as a reward, and I'm heading now towards this side of the mountain, this side of the sand dune, where I want to get the best view of the Crescent Lake and also the sunset, because where I am right now, this sun has already set. You may be thinking, what do you do with trash in the middle of the desert? I mean, it's simple, you just throw it in the trash bin. This seems as good a place as any to plonk myself. Check out. I mean, that's really incredible. Definitely one of the most spectacular sunsets I've seen. Wow, I'm so just trying to soak up this moment. It's just so beautiful. Such dramatic scenery. The sand dune is so high, and you can get a really nice view of that Crescent Lake from there. And it is very crescent shaped indeed. And something I do need to admit to you guys is that this video I actually filmed in 2 days, even though it does look like this is just 1 day of shooting. And the reason why I had to do that is yesterday at 4 p.m. there was suddenly this sandstorm out of nowhere. So I was originally planning yesterday night to come here, but obviously I couldn't do that. So I filmed another video which is at the night market during the sandstorm, which was just wild. So next week there's going to be a video on my channel of me going to the night market where my camera is still up and running. So it's going to get one last rodeo, which I'm really happy before it retires for good. And then the following video on my channel, it's going to be back to phone and Insta360, and that will be in Zhangye. So I'm so excited to also see those rainbow mountains. Man, these next few videos is just landscape, landscape, landscape. So beautiful. Once the sun went down at 9:30 or so, the performances began. First, there was a drone show. It's actually my first time seeing a drone show, so I found it really entertaining. And talking of entertaining, they projected song lyrics onto a sand dune, and there was just a big KTV session, everyone singing together, and it was really impactful because there were just so many people here. It's getting darker and darker here, so I thought I'd wrap up this video while you can still see me here. I'm gonna stay here for a bit longer. There is no exit time. Like, you can exit as late as you want. They stopped letting people in around 8:30, but you can stay in here as long as you want. So I'm planning to watch the stars. Apparently they're really beautiful from here. I mean, how beautiful is this? Still a little bit of sunset on the horizon. It's crazy, it's 10 p.m. and it's still a little bit light. But anyway, thank you guys so much for watching this video. As always, don't forget to like, comment and subscribe. And if you would like to contribute to the new camera fund, you can get yourself a Wakbang hat. On popular demand, I'm going to bring it back onto my merch store. If you want to have a cool Wakbang hat like this while you're eating all the Wakbang foods, well, you can get that at the link below in my description. So yeah, that'll be it from me. I'll see you next week on my channel, where I'll be making a video about the night market here in Dunhuang during a sandstorm. See you then. Bye!